Haribol, Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Jayata. So, today I was thinking we could discuss and talk about Katyayani vrata. It's a topical issue. We posted a few videos like a couple of days ago on the subject matter, and there's a lot of common questions that people are asking always. So I thought we could just go over those questions and try to understand more in depth this subject matter. The most common question that is asked is that why is it appropriate to do a Katyayani vrata if the gopis, they are praying to have Krishna as their husband, and we in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we aspire to become the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, and that is in the mood of paramara love or parakiya. What to speak of marrying Krishna? Even the parakiya gopis, they don't even want to meet with Krishna. So this Katyayani vrata seems to be totally contrary to the mood of our parampara, or that which Mahaprabhu came to give. That's the main argument, or the main objection for people who perform in Katyayani vrata. Why we should do it. And then another argument that people ask a lot is that if the gopis, they performed worship of Katyayani, which is Mahamaya Durga, so how is that appropriate? How is it that why are we worshipping Durga? So those are the two main objections regarding Katyayani vrata. And there are many others also, but we can get into those a little bit more later. Just want to cover these two main questions. And maybe 2-3 days ago we posted a video with a lot of different quotes on the Katyayani vrata by our acharyas. So I just want to go into that a little bit more depth, just to give you a little bit more of the background, help you understand it. So, Katyayani vrata, it started 5,000 years ago. Where? During Krishna Lila. Which month? In the month of Margshirsha, also known as Agraha, and that was the previous month to this one. Now we're in the month of Posh. And it comes every year. In other words, it's the month right after Kartik vrata. As soon as Kartik month finishes, then Margshirsha starts. So on the first day of that Margshirsha month, that's when all the gopis, they started doing this vrata. So in the Bhagavatam, if you go 10th canto, chapter 22, verse 1, there it says that Shri Shuka Uvacha Hemante Pratame Masi Nanda Braja Kumarika Cherur Havishyam Bunjana Katyayan Archana Vratam. Shukadev Goswami describes this vrata as a Archan vrata. A vrata of performing Archan. Archan means, like you go to any temple, then the worship they do to the deities, that's called Archan. They bathe the deities, they put oil on the deities, they offer boga, they do arti. That's called Archan. So Katyayani Archan vrata means they worshipping Katyayani Devi in this way, in a very disciplined and fixed fashion. So, and also Cherur Havishyam Bunjana, they only ate Havishanna. So Havishanna means like you take rice and dal and you boil it and eat it without spices. So generally when you do vrata, you're supposed to do some extra austerity, sleeping on the ground, not eating too much. So here's a little description about that in the Bhagavatam. And then Shukadeva Goswami then describes a little more. He says that they would bathe in the water just as the sun was rising. That's just like Brahma Muhurta time. Like basically after Mangalarti, around that time. And it says they made an earthen deity of goddess Durga. And they worshipped her with aromatic substances such as sandalwood and many other opulent and simple ingredients like ghee lamp, fruits, betel nut, newly grown leaves, fragrant garlands, incense, etc. And while they're worshipping, they would chant a mantra. And this has been described in Gopal Champu and other places, that Vrinda Devi herself, on the instruction of Purnamasi Devi, came and gave this mantra to these gopis. And that mantra goes, Katyayani Mahamaya Mahayoginya Rishari Nanda Gopal Sutam Devi Patimme Kurute Nama. So basically the translation of that is that, O Katyayani, O Mahamaya, You are Mahayogini, you are the master of all mystics. Adishri, you are the original Shakti, the original goddess. Patim Nandagopa Sutam Devi. Nandagopa means Nanda Maharaj. Sutam is the son. O Devi, O Katyayani, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Patim me kurute nama, make him our Pati. And in a literal general translation of Pati, it means husband. That's the general, the most straightforward explanation of Pati. But Pati has so many other deeper meanings than that. And if you were to just apply the word husband to the word Pati, then there will be so many contradictory statements in scripture that could not be reconciled. So therefore, in Sanskrit, we cannot just apply the first and foremost meaning to every single word. We have to see the context and who is speaking it, and then we can understand. And foremost in all for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Guru Parampara Prapt Vedavani. Achintya, that which is inconceivable, our scriptures, Veda Buddhigamya, we understand them through the intelligence or the word of our acharyas. So therefore, in this Katyayani Vrat, it's described the young Sadhan Siddha gopis who were 2.5 years, 3 years of age, having a desire to have Krishna as their Pati, they began performing this Vrat on the advice of Vrinda Devi, Purnamasi Devi. And as you know, after performing this Vrat for 1 month, Krishna came and he stole away the cloth of the gopis and had teach them, had some conversation with them, and in the end he made them ask forgiveness. They all came out of the water and then begged for their clothes back, and Krishna returned their cloth to them. So this pastime is a very sweet pastime, and ordinary people, to them it's a very controversial pastime. So how can the Lord steal the clothes of the young gopis? And it seems like some inappropriate behavior there. But our acharyas, on the contrary, they have described this Vrat and this pastime as a very pure and sweet pastime of the Lord with a lot of deep meanings in it. So first, I want to go over a little bit of the writings of Kavi Karnapur Goswami. He's going to describe to us a little bit about this Vrat, and it's not a little bit actually. Kavi Karnapur Goswami, he describes even the mantras that the gopis they chant while performing this Vrat. So we can see that in where Ananda Vrindavan Champu. I've just taken a few quotes. To go into this subject in full depth will take a long time. This is just a summary of this subject. So here Kavi Karnapur is saying Vidhi Purva Katyayani Deva Pujanam. Puja of Katyayani Devi according to rules and regulations. So here he says that the gopis set the excellent puja items on the sandy white banks of the Yamuna, which glistened like camphor powder. They chose a clean, quiet place for puja. It was a secluded location undisturbed by the wind and free from the contamination of foam that was in the Yamuna and the footprints and markings of birds and animals, etc. Desiring to make a murti of goddess Katyayani out of sand, the highly qualified gopis spoke in sweet voices, resembling the soft cooing of cuckoos. One gopi said, "Oh my friends, we have never observed the Katyayani Vrat. Before initiating this auspicious act, we should remove the evil elements from the atmosphere. Are we going to conduct the worship individually or all together? Let us decide in such a way that we do not end up with a disaster. With faith and intelligence, we should take decision." Another Saki said, "We should do the puja all together in a group. To perform puja separately is not good. Worshipping together will be more beneficial." And this we can understand. Anyone can understand this. Mahaprabhu, he has said that Sankirtana, performing kirtan together is the most beneficial. If you do kirtan alone, there is some benefit, but to do it together is the most beneficial. Here he says that, he continues, the experts in puja chanted sweet verses praising Krishna's attributes while offering handfuls of fragrant flowers to a murti of Katyayani molded from sand. Seeing the elegant murti, the gopis felt that Bhagavati Katyayani herself had appeared in that murti. The gopis thought, how fortunate we are to perceive goddess Bhagavati, even though we have not yet installed the deity. Feeling that they had satisfied Devi Katyayani, the gopis felt elated. This strengthened their determination to execute the vow. To properly please Katyayani, the gopis did Manasi Puja of the Murti before commencing the worship. While concealing the confidential desires within their hearts and controlling their minds, the gopis silently fetched water from the Yamuna. The gopis kept Krishna locked inside their hearts and like a precious treasure. After washing their hands and doing achman, they sat down on kush asans, fixed their minds in the mode of goodness. They silently worshipped Katyayani. So Kavi Karnapur has described, given this introduction, this description of Katyayani Bhava. Then, if you read Ananda Vrindavan Champu, then he goes step by step through all the different upachars, all the different ingredients that the gopis offer to Katyayani, and the mantras as well that they chant. Then finally, at the end of that puja, they perform stuti, or praise, of Katyayani Devi, and they say there, here's a few verses I have extracted just so you can understand the mood of this vrat. Here the gopis are saying, Prabha Vishnur Maha Vishnur Yoga Shaktistam Uttama Bhasi Kartum Akartum Cha Anyata Kartum Apishwari. You are called Yoga Maya, the potency of Mahavishnu, who possesses all energies. You have the power to do the impossible. So here the gopis are addressing Katyayani as who? As Yoga Maya, as Mahavishnu's own Shakti. And then another verse they chant, Parad Paratare Krishna Pare Parama Vaishnavi Paropakara Parame Parameshwari Te Namaha. You are expert in worshipping Krishna, and you are the supreme Vaishnavi, O Parameshwari, O Supreme Goddess. You always engage in the welfare of others. We pay our respects unto you. Here they describe Katyayani Devi as who? As Parama Vaishnavi. Vaishnava means, a Vaishnava or Vaishnavi is what? It means a servant of Vishnu. So here they have described Yogamaya, Katyayani as Yogamaya and as Vaishnavi. So here it becomes evident that the gopis, they are worshipping Katyayani not in the form of Durga or Mahamaya, but in the form of Yogamaya. This is one quote. And then, if we look at Rupa Goswami's writings, there's a nice description by Rupa Goswami where in Ujjvala Nilamani he describes that he gets into the tattva, or like the truth about the divisions of the different gopis. And who are the gopis who perform this Katyayani Vrat? He describes in clear language. He says here in the Ujjvala Nilamani, we're quoting from Ujjvala Nilamani Kiran, that is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's summary study of Ujjvala Nilamani, Nayak Vibhag 1 verse 2. Ata ashray alambana nayika patamam sviya parakya iti dvividha Katyayani vrata paranam kanyanam madhyaya gandarvena vivihata tasviya. So he describes that actually all nayikas, all gopis, they are categorized into two categories, parakya and swakya. So parakya means someone who is married, who is in wedlock, but they have a relationship with a paramour. And swakya means one married, accepting a husband accepting a hand in marriage. And in that system, you have to perform a fire sacrifice. Brahmanas will have to be there. There's a witness. There's offering of gifts. And many religious rituals that have to be performed in that. And then the wife or the married woman, she has pativrata dharma. She has her vows towards and her duties towards her husband. Her life is for the service of her husband. And she never deviates from religious principles of a virtuous wife. That is swakya. So, and who is a kanya? We hear this word a lot, kanya, gopi kanya. Kanya is described as unmarried, shy young girls who are maintained by their mothers and fathers, who play with their confidence without any fear or hesitation. They are known as kanyas. They're young girls, young children. They are not married and they're under the protection of their parents. That is a kanya. So basically it means a virgin girl. So that is Rupa Goswami's description. So there he says there are two kinds of gopis, parakya and swakya, and those who perform the Gandharva ritual of marriage. Gandharva means just when you exchange garlands, then you are considered married. That's how the Gandharvas get married. So those who are in that category, who exchange garlands with Krishna, they are considered Swakiya. So here the main doubt which we hear is that, okay, if the Katyayani, the gopis who are worshipping Katyayani Devi, they are praying that Krishna will be their husband, and this is a mood of Swakiya. This is a mood of marriage. This is like the queens of Dwarka, Rukmini, Satyabhama. So how is that appropriate for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas? So then Gurudev, he's now, in his translation and commentary on Ujjvala Nilamani, Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilamani, chapter 3, verse 16, here he says, Srila Gurudev is now saying, quoting Gurudev, this may raise a doubt as to how some of these damsels of Raj can be considered Swakiya, or married. The qualities of Parakya Nayaks, which include concealed desire, prachanna kamukata, inhibition due to social censorship, nivaranata, and being rarely able to meet with Krishna, durlabhatva, are not found in Swakiya Nayakas. So someone who is Swakiya will not have these qualities in them. They have no vamyabhav, they have no hidden concealed desire. Why they are married, they express their desire openly to their husbands. There's no censorship, there's no obstacles. They live together. And the meeting is not durlabh, they're living in under the same roof. So in Swakiya Nayikas, these ingredients of Parakya Rasa are not there. So if we look at the Braj Gopis, then a doubt comes that how can they really be considered Swakiya? Because we see that neither they're living with Krishna, there's so many obstacles to their meeting with Krishna, and they have so much hidden concealed desire in their hearts. And they always, if you read Venugita and other chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, they're always indirectly revealing the moods that are there in their heart to each other, expressing their hidden concealed desire. So how can these Braj Gopis, they're residing in Braj, how can they really be considered Swakiya? Why has Rupa Goswami categorized them in that way? So Gurudev is going to answer this. And Gurudev himself, he doesn't answer with his own words, but he takes shelter of Rupa Goswami himself. He says, Srila Rupa Goswami has reconciled this for us. The Braj damsels who are accepted by Krishna according to the Gandharva system of marriage, in which the Nayak and Nayaka are married simply by exchanging flower garlands, are essentially known as Swakiya. Yet there is no clear indication or revelation that they have actually married Sri Krishna. For this reason, they have concealed desire, inhibition, and a limitation in regard to seeing and speaking with Krishna, which are the qualities of Parakya. So here, Gurudev quoting Rupa Goswami himself, Gurudev being the foremost of all Rupanugas, taking shelter of Rupa Goswami's own words, he says that those damsels that perform this Gandharva Vivaha, who exchange garlands with Krishna as a Leela, we know, like if you go to Sakigiri Parvat, near Uchagan, there Krishna and Lalita perform this pastime, exchanging garlands. Radhika and Krishna perform this pastime in Bandirvat. This is a playful pastime that takes place here in Brajmanda between Krishna and the gopis. So, according to that system of marriage, okay, you can consider them Swakiya because they're married, Gandharva Vivaha. But really, are they truly married to Krishna? Did Radharani ever move to Nandagaon to live with Krishna? Did Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba become Radhika's in-laws? Did Krishna perform his Upanayana Samskar in Braj and get married to anybody? There is no description. On the contrary, we see that Radhika, she got married to Abhimanyu and she moved to Yavat. Krishna, only after going to Mathura killing Kamsa, then the Mathura Vasis performed his Upanayana Samskar, sent him to Ujjain to learn from Sandipani Muni the 64 arts. And only after that, then when he went to Dwarka, then his marriage was arranged. Or he got married to Rukmini. He kidnapped Rukmini. In Vedic culture, without performing the Upanayana Samskar, without receiving the Brahman thread, there's no question of marriage. And boys before the age of 15, they have to perform this. All Brahmins, Kshatris and Vaishyas, they perform this Upanayana Samskar. Sudras do not perform. So, Krishna never performed his Upanayana Samskar. Even his name-giving ceremony, Vasudev Maharaj said Garga Rishi to Braj, but in a hidden way, in the Gosala they did it, so that Kamsa would not come to know. Otherwise he would think, oh, Gargacharya performed the name-giving ceremony to Krishna. That is Vasudev Maharaj's priest. What's he doing in Vrindavan, giving an age ceremony to the son of Nanda Maharaj? Oh, just like Durga Devi told me, your killer had been born elsewhere. Maybe this is my killer. So in order to hide that fact, then secretly they performed the name-giving ceremony there. So there's no mention of Krishna ever being married to any of the gopis. Indirectly, we know acharyas have commented on the Brahma Vimohan Lila. That year, when Krishna became all the gopas and the cows after Brahma had stolen them away, then Gargacharya announced that this year is very favorable, and then all the marriages were arranged that year. So in that way, indirectly they were all married to Krishna. And this is why we can see that there's nitya, there's oneness and difference. Achintya Bera Bera Tattva by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described in Braj Lila. We can see that. Simultaneously, Krishna, there's eternal Swakya. All the gopis, all Radhika, they're all his own Shakti. They're manifested from his own body. They're his own potency. So they are inseparable, like fire and heat, like musk and its fragrance. But simultaneously, they are separated. The gopis are married to other gopas, cowherd men, and Krishna is not married, and they try to meet with Krishna. So therefore we can see that the gopis in Vrindavan, they all possess the qualities of Parakiya. So there's no real Swakya in Braj. So Rupa Goswami has clarified that to us. So the gopis, that means if there's no real Swakya in Braj, then how is it that they are performing the Katyayani vrata in the mood of Swakya? So this indicates that actually they're not performing the Katyayani vrata in the mood of Swakya, but they're actually performing it in the mood of Parakiya. And that we're going to later, when we will read some more quotes, that will become very clear and evident. So that was Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. And now there's one small quote from Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami is the foremost Rupanuga also. He's a follower of Srila Rupa Goswami, his own near and dear. Rupa Goswami is not only his uncle, but his guru in life and soul, everything. So here, and he's the foremost and topmost follower of Srila Rupa Goswami. So here also, following in the mood of Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami in his Gopal Champu has explained also this thing. Here this quote, he is saying that, Gopal Champu chapter 21 verse 39, he says, when the best of women heard this, when he hinted that they should marry according to Gandharva rites, their eyes showed embarrassment, and they waited for the time of acceptance. Increasing his powers for accepting them in marriage, he again spoke pure words to them. In other words, Krishna. Krishna is speaking. Mutual acceptance of the bride and groom is the method of Gandharva marriage. Mutual acceptance is the highest dharma and manifests naturally between a couple. Having reached success by the Gandharva method of marriage, please return to Braj. On a night very soon we will meet. So Krishna is telling, this heart-to-heart relation, me accepting you, you accepting me, this is the highest dharma. This is natural. This naturally manifests between two lovers. And this is the Gandharva marriage. This is how Gandharvas, they'll unite. They accept each other and they exchange garlands. So you have accepted me and I have accepted you. Therefore, he says, you have reached success by the Gandharva method of marriage. So Krishna and the gopis, because they accepted each other, they were married in this way. In that way, there is some Swakya. That is all. But still, as we heard previously by Rupa Goswami, all the symptoms of Parakya still exist in them, because even though they perform this pastime of accepting each other, still the gopis, they are in their houses. They cannot freely meet with Krishna. There are so many obstacles, and therefore they feel very shy to express their love for Krishna. It is all very hidden. Then another quote from Gopal Champu, another short quote. It says that the last day of the worship and vows had passed. Joyful on attaining Krishna as their husband, they forgot the worship and returned to Braj. All their actions were filled with the happiness of attaining him. They had obtained the happiness of Krishna, accepting to be their husband, as a result of their prayam, for which the reason they had worshipped Katyayani. What more could be attained after this? So he said, joyful in attaining Krishna as their husband. So they attained Krishna as their husband. Were they married to Krishna? Did they perform a fire sacrifice? None of that. Simply they accepted each other in their hearts. Krishna stole their clothes, told them to come out. And the gopis surrendering, they followed Krishna's advice. And this way they came in front of Krishna without their clothes. Only a wife can be naked in front of their husband. Therefore the gopis are their own Shaktis of Krishna. They are non-different from each other. Therefore, they came in front. If you look at yourself in the mirror naked, is there any fault? There is no fault. One can be in one's gamcha and standing in front of a mirror, and it will be totally acceptable. But if you were to go out in the street wearing your gamcha, no clothes on, then what people will think, oh, where has this crazy person come from? Oh, he is quite mad. There will be some fault. So the gopis being their own Shaktis of Krishna, there was no fault of them coming out of the water in front of Krishna, because they are his own Shaktis. And in this pastime, Krishna had accepted them and they had accepted Krishna. Therefore Krishna was their husband or pati. So here now, that is Jiva Goswami describing this Katyayani Vrata. There are so many more quotes, so many more things. You can dive into this subject matter yourself, research these things. I'm just pulling out a few quotes to give you some idea, some awareness of the real nature of this Vrata. There's people who are themselves are very insecure. They instead of correcting their own faults, they like to find faults in others, and therefore they like to spread doubts, and therefore these questions have been arisen. And some people just have legitimate questions regarding the Vrata, so there's no harm in having legitimate questions, legitimate inquiry. So for those who are, this is actually, why am I speaking? This is for those who really they want to understand this subject matter more than they can find out for themselves. There's no trying to convince someone who's already convinced. So this is not a talk where I'm trying to smash or trying to defeat anybody, because they're already set in their way. They're not going to accept. I could speak here till the cows come home. They'll still not accept what is being said here by our Guru Varga. But for those who have an open mind, who are inquisitive, and they want to hear what our acharyas have to say on this subject matter, for them I'm reading this and explaining this to the best of my ability. Now comes a very interesting part. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has described this pastime. He's also written a Sukhavartini commentary on Ananda Vrindavan Champa by Kavi Karnapur. There he also gives a description, but also in his Sarartha Darshini commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there he has given extensive purport. So if you read that whole chapter, then you'll be greatly benefited. I highly recommend reading it. But here, just taking some few quotes from there. Here, he is saying that anticipating this objection, the gopis say in anxiety, "O great yogini, my connection with Krishna should be immediately arranged by you without the unnecessary disturbance of my parents. I am too anxious for this and cannot wait." Here, the gopis, they want to be united with Krishna, and they're asking, "Oh, Purnamasi Devi, please arrange for this. Please arrange that our parents will not be disturbed." So here they have mentioned like that, and here they're saying, besides, Krishna has not taken Brahminical initiation yet. He has not received the Brahmin thread, so he's not ready for marriage. Therefore, Goddess, overlook the proper rituals of marriage, and in Gandharva style, let us marry Krishna immediately. So the question, let us marry Krishna in the style of Gandharva. Such is the implication. Gandharva marriage is a love marriage, by personal agreement without parental sanction. Of course, these are translations done by devotees. So whenever we listen to this translation, there may be some defects in the translation also. Therefore, and even to understand the Sanskrit itself requires guidance and guru. So ultimately, we need the guidance of our Guru Varga to understand these comments. So here, when the gopis are saying, "Please arrange our marriage and arrange for our marriage for Krishna," they are basically saying, "Please, we want to be united with Krishna." That is the implication. Because later on you'll hear Srila Gurudev describes that actually the gopis are so young, they don't know really what is wedlock, what is real marriage. They don't have a conception of that. They simply know that Krishna is my beloved, I want to be united with him. Here again they make a request to Krishna, to Katyayani. They say, "Oh, O Adeshwari, you have all powers, therefore nothing is impossible for you. You are Mahamaya, the supreme enchantress. Therefore, by the power of illusion, you should bewilder my parents, so they will not know of my marriage and the secret of my intimate association with Krishna. So they're asking, O Katyayani, please bewilder our parents so that we may, our meeting with Krishna, our marriage with Krishna will not come to them known. So how is it possible that you marry someone and no one will know about it? How is it possible? This is not possible. You cannot secretly marry someone and live in society. If they were to marry Krishna, if they marry somebody, then not tell their parents, and their parents would arrange their marriage with someone else. And if you cannot live with the person who you married, then how are you married really? So this is not. You should understand that here marriage is the gopis. They don't know what is the real meaning of marriage. They just want Krishna to be their pati. And pati here, if we hear the word of our acharyas, pati means prema palayati iti pati. One who maintains and nourishes one by love, by prema, that person is known as pati. One who is our guardian, one who is our life and soul, that person is our pati. This is evident in the songs of our acharyas, like Narottam Das Thakur. He says, Dhana mora nityananda, pati mora gaura chanda. He says, Dhana mora nityananda, pati mora gaura chanda, pran mor yugala kishore. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also prays in this song Manasi Deho Geho, says, Janaka Janani Daitatanoy Prabhu Guru Pati Tuhu Sarvamay. Oh my Lord, you are my mother, you are my wife, you are my beloved, you are my Guru, you are my Pati, you are everything to me. So the word Pati implies so much more. Here they continue to say, the gopis, taking the word Devi to mean Divyati, play. It refers to Krishna who plays and causes one to play, Devyati. Therefore the gopi says, Devi means Krishna is indeed the husband, so please make him so. Krishna is indeed the pati. So such a status of being a pati can be affected without marriage, and thus there is no harm even if I am married to some other cowherd man. In this way, each of the gopis separately meditates on the meaning of the mantra chanted to petition goddess Katyayani. So here they're saying, oh, no harm, even if I'm married to someone else, Krishna can still be my pati. So if they're married to someone else and Krishna is their pati, so here it becomes evident that pati here does not mean wedlock or swakya. Here the mood is purely parakya. They're married to someone else, they have their own husbands, but Krishna is their pati, is their beloved, they're all in all, they're everything. The object of their love, that is the meaning here. It's very clear. Vishwanath Chakravarti has clarified this in a very wonderful way. And here he continues further to clarify that the goddess Durga mentioned in this verse is not the illusory energy of Krishna called Mahamaya, but rather the internal potency, Chit Shakti of the Lord known as Yoga Maya. And then he goes on to say that, one more quote, that he says, to confuse the Yoga Maya Durga with the Mahamaya Durga is a mistake. So we should not confuse this Katyayani to be Durga, Mahamaya, but it is Yoga Maya. And she is helping unite the gopis with Krishna. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti even reconciles further. He said that all the pastimes in Braj are on the level of Vishuddha Sattva, pure existence, and they may resemble material pastimes in some way. So therefore there is no fault in the gopis' worship of Durga or Mahamaya. Even if they're performing the Leela of worshipping Mahamaya, then what is the harm? It is still all Shuddha Sattva, it is all Vishuddha Sattva. Pure transcendental Leela of the Lord. So that's how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur he comments on this thing. And there are many more other nice places, many other quotes. Here he says, although the gopis had been thoroughly cheated, deprived of their modesty, ridiculed, and made to act just like toy dolls, and although their clothing had been stolen, they did not feel at all inimical towards Sri Krishna. Rather, they were simply joyful to have this opportunity to associate with their beloved. Priya Sangha Nivritaha. So here they consider Krishna to be their Priya, Pran Priyatam. So here, again he's saying, though all this was done to them, the gopis felt blissful because they got to meet their beloved Priya. They actually became even more attached to Krishna for doing all of these things. The conclusion is that when one is considered dear Priya, whatever the dear one does is experienced with pleasure even if it gives pain. So the Vaishnavas have also described that in this way Krishna is testing them to see really that they desire him or not. And any maya, any obstacle that may have been there, to their meeting, Krishna has removed it. And now he's promised them that after 1 month I will meet you. And sometime shortly in the future I will meet with you. Then we know after the Katyayani Vrata, then Krishna lifts Giriraj Govardhan. Then the gopis 7 days and night they get to see and be with Krishna 7 days. Then after that, on Saturday Ras Purnima also, they perform Ras Lila, and then they meet with Krishna there. But even then, Krishna tests them further to help them perfect their mood. And who are these gopis? These are the sadhan siddha gopis. These are the gopis who had performed sadhan in previous lives. Rishichari, Munichari, Upanishadchari gopis, the Mithil, Puri Kanyas, the Swarna Sitas. It's all been described by our Guru Varga. Those who are eligible, they took birth in Braj from the wombs of the gopis, and they became these sadhan siddha gopis, desiring to attain Krishna. Here again it says the gopis were addicted to associating with their beloved Krishna, and thus they become captivated by him. Preshta Sangama Sajjita. So this is the real mood of Pati. Priya, Preshta, Priyatama. This is how we should understand the word husband to be. And there are many nice more quotes, one can read that for themselves. So now I would just like to quote from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written a song just praying to Yogamaya. It's called Amara Samana Hina Nahi E Sangsare. And there in one verse of that song he says, Kula Devi Yogamaya More Kripa Kori Avarana Sambaribe Kabe Vishwadari. O Yogamaya, one will you show mercy to me by lifting up the curtain of illusion in which you cover the universe in your external form of Mahamaya. You are known as Kula Devi, the traditional worshipful goddess of all of the Vaishnav lines. So Purnamasi is the guru of all the Brajbasis. And therefore, for Vaishnavas, if they want to become free from this sangsar, from this covering of Mahamaya, then they need to pray to Yogamaya. It's by the mercy of Yogamaya that then one can attain the eligibility to enter into the pastimes of the Lord. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur clearly prays to Yogamaya here also. So it is in this mood that sadhaks perform this Katyayani Vrata, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is shown here. And also in the Jaiva Dharma, there's a section where Binda Devi is speaking to Narad, and she says that, O Narad, I formerly heard from Bhagavati Katyayani that Durvasa Muni bestowed the following boon upon Srimati Radhika. Hey Devi, by my mercy, whatever food you cook will rival the nectar of gods. Furthermore, it will bless the eater with great longevity. So here, she is referring to Purnamasi by the name Katyayani. Bhagavati Katyayani here means Purnamasi Devi. It's not that Durga gave benediction to Durvasa, it's not that Narad heard this from Durga Devi, but he heard it from Purnamasi Devi. Or Vrinda Devi heard it. Vrinda saying, I heard this from... Vrinda Devi did not hear this from Durga, rather she heard this from Purnamasi. And she's explaining this to Narad, that Durvasa Rishi gave a benediction to Radhika that whatever she cooks, it will become nectar. That's in the Jaiva Dharma, chapter 38. Then, after Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or actually even before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we know that Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he instructed young Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Bimala Prasad, to compile all the dates for the Vaishnav calendar. And that Vaishnav calendar is the calendar that all Gaudiya Saraswat Vaishnava use today. And there he included the starting timings and the ending timings of the Katyayani Vrata in that calendar. Till today, those starting timings and ending timings are calculated and printed in every single Gaudiya Vaishnav Saraswat calendar. Whether any institution, whether it's ISKCON, whether it's the Babajis, whether it's the Gaudiya Math, they include that inside their calendar. Therefore, if it is included in the calendar, then Does that mean that this vrat is a concoction, should not be followed? Why has it been included in the calendar if it's not meant to be followed? So Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he included it within the calendar. Because why? Gaudiya Vaishnava since the time of Mahaprabhu have been following this vrat. So here, then Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada himself, he, on one time when he was initiating he had initiated some sannyasis, then some new sannyas initiates, then that time he said that this is the mantra of our worshipful Brajbasis, and he quotes this verse, Katyayani Mahamaya Mahayogin Yadishri Nanda Gopasutam Devi Pating Me Kurate Nama. And this verse worshipping Gopishwara Mahadev, Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Soma Mole Sanaka Sanandana Sanatana Narajajya Gopishwara Vajavilasi Yugangri Padme Prema Prayacha Nirupadi Namo Namaste. Praying to Yogamaya and praying to Gopishwara Mahadev for this Nirupadik prem, this love for Sri Krishna. And in Chaitanya Bhagavad he also describes, Prabhupada he says that by respecting Krishna's energies that are present within the 14 worlds and his transcendental energies that are described in the Vedas, one's devotion to Krishna becomes fixed. Rather than considering the universal energies of Krishna as mundane, one should consider them transcendental and pray to them for devotional service to Krishna. Rather than seeing the energies of Krishna mentioned in the Vedas as mundane, if one respects them as maid servants of the gopis, then one's devotion to Krishna becomes strengthened. So in this mood we should worship Katyayani Devi. And then Param Gurudev, he described in the Acharya Kesari, his mission, the life and teachings of Bhakti Bhagyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. So that if the gopis were worshipping Katyayani, then why did Krishna have to personally come and give the benediction? If they were worshipping Katyayani, Katyayani Devi herself should have come and given the benediction. But we see on the contrary that Katyayani Devi never manifested. She never came there, but rather Krishna came there on the last day and gave the benediction. The reason is that Krishna and his Swarup Shakti, Yogamaya, Katyayani are non-different. Shakti, Shakti, Matara, Bed. He says that Katyayani means Yogamaya. And she is Swarup Shakti, expansion of Swarup Shakti, and she is non-different from Krishna. Therefore, in this case, Katyayani Puja is the same as the Puja of Sri Krishna. So worshipping Katyayani Puja Devi is same as worshipping Krishna. Therefore, if any Gaudiya Vaishnava worships Katyayani Devi, it's the same as worshipping the deity on the altar. Worshipping Krishna, Radha and Krishna on the altar is non-different. Because Katyayani Devi is what? Yogamaya, an expansion of Krishna himself. So, Srila Prabhupada, this is a really nice quote by Srila Prabhupada in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, Rai Ramananda Samvad, Madhya Lila, verse 90. It says, following the example of the gopis, the devotees sometimes worship the goddess Katyayani, but they understand that Katyayani is an incarnation of Yoga Maya. He says, read that again slowly. Following the example of the gopis, the devotees sometimes worship the goddess Katyayani, but they understand that Katyayani is an incarnation of Yoga Maya. He said that sometimes the devotees worship Katyayani. Why? Because they're following the example of the gopis. But they understand that Katyayani is an incarnation of Yoga Maya. So they worship Katyayani as in the mood of as Yoga Maya, following the example of the gopis, trying to develop their relationship with Krishna. Now, Prabhupada directly has described that. And then Srila Gurudev has described a lot on this subject matter. We also just posted one beautiful excerpt from a lecture that took place in Chirgat in 93. And there Gurudev, he describes the tattva very nicely. And in the end of that recording, you can hear him worshipping Katyayani Devi with ghee lamp, incense, flowers, and they chant the mantra and they worship Katyayani Devi. So here's one quote from that. He says that these young girls, they don't know what marriage is. All of them from childhood approach Shankar, Durga, Katyayani, Uma in search of a good husband. From the time when she was young, Rukmini worshipped Uma. Sita Devi also did this from childhood. In this way, this puja was custom from ancient times. So those gopis, in other words, the Rishichari, Rajkumaris, gopis who took birth from the wombs of the gopis had their previous life impressions from birth. And in this birth, seeing the Nitya Siddha, eternally perfected gopis, they worshipped Katyayani from childhood. They did not know what the meaning of pati, husband is, or the meaning of marriage. But they used to do this since childhood. If they had known or had the association of the gopis, they would not have used the word pati. but would have used a different word instead, like Priyatam, beloved, or any other word. Gurudev makes it very clear. If they would have known Pati actually signifies wedlock, marriage, then they would not have used it. Because the gopis, they want to satisfy Krishna. Therefore, they want Krishna as their Priyatama. In wedlock, there cannot be any parakiya. And if there's no parakiya bhave brajara ullas. There is no ullas, there is no happiness in Braj. Therefore, jaya jaya jala rasa sarva rasa sar parakiya bhave jaha brajate prachar. We sing this every morning. This parakiya bhav is prevalent in Braj. This is unnata ujjala rasam. This is what Mahaprabhu came to give, and this is what Rupa Goswami established in this world after being empowered by Mahaprabhu himself. They worship Katyayani ji, but who came? Who gave them blessings? Krishna did. Therefore, in my understanding, this was not worship of Katyayani, but rather of Krishna. So, this is a quote from Srila Guru Pada Padma, and therefore, by taking a little time to go a little bit in depth on this subject matter, we can see that actually the mood behind this vrat, the mood behind the Braj Gopis, is not a mood of Swakiya. It's not a mood of, I want to marry Krishna, Krishna is going to become my husband. Rather, it is mood that Krishna is the object of our love. He is our Pati. He is our beloved. And we want to develop our relationship with Krishna. We want to accept him, and he should accept us. We want to attain perfection in that way. Krishna Prem Prayojan. Our Prayojan is not to attain Krishna as our husband. Our goal is what? To attain Krishna Prem. Love for Krishna. And that is the significance of this Katyayani Vrat. The gopis want to attain love for Krishna. And therefore because they are Sadhan Siddha gopis, they are performing this Vrat. And on the last day, they invite the Nitya Siddhas also to the bank of the Yamuna, and Radhika and all the Nitya Siddha gopis, Lalita, Vishakha, they all come and take part, and they give their blessings to the Sadhan Siddha. Why did they invite them? Because without the mercy of the Nitya Siddhas, they themselves cannot enter into the pastimes of Krishna, they cannot become Nitya Siddha themselves. So Gurudev has explained this. So, this is just a summary, a description of this Katyayani Vrat. There are so many more things to be said, so many more quotes, deep siddhantas and descriptions about this Vrat. This is just the surface, the top of it, just giving you the gist. And I've tried to address these two main doubts regarding this, why we should form this Vrat. Why, we are not in the mood of Swakiyas, then why do we perform this Vrat? And how is it appropriate to worship Mahamaya? So this has been addressed by our acharyas here, and maybe another time later, if we get into this subject a little bit more detail, we can go into other aspects of this Vrat. But for now, we'll just stop here.